Hello guys, I'm just gonna react to the news that the Racing Point 2020 car, this season's car, has been declared illegal by the FIA. To be honest with you guys, I don't know where the fuss is coming from, because I'm gonna explain my reasons. Because first of all, I believe we had a similar situation back in 2008 when Mclaren were found to have gotten far more information, I do believe, than Racing Point have. I think they got all their points taken away and got £100 million fine, bar the points deducted what the prize money would have been for the points they'd already scored. So in terms of and they were allowed to finish the season with that year's Mclaren car. So I don't, in terms of that, if you take that as a precedent, I think a disqualification for Racing Point would be totally over the top. My second reason is, the second point I want to raise is because can you remember when Haas came into Formula One? They were literally accused of copying a Ferrari, and in the end that they were still allowed to race. So I can't, if they was to punish Racing Point, then they certainly have to disqualify Haas as well, because we know how close the ties are with Ferrari. And the other thing to bear in mind is the fact that 15 points, yes, it's a lot of points, and 400 euros is short change, I think, for Lawrence Stroll, given that he's a multi-billionaire, and I think he would pay that no problem if it comes to it. I think we're gonna have to look at customer cars, to be honest, especially with this pandemic that we're currently in, and the financial situation. we are on. There's a high possibility of losing one of the greatest uh, teams in F1 history, in that being Williams. So and that would be absolutely devastating. So I think we're gonna have to. The FIA is gonna have to look at a way of allowing customer cars or some sort of compromise between being a constructor or being a customer car, being a customer team, because we can't afford to lose any teams, and I think it is totally inappropriate. It would be totally inappropriate to come down hard on Racing Point now, especially given that they supposedly were in full communication with the FIA. And the FIA said yes, that looks fine. I agree with Total Wolf. I don't think anybody at Racing Point was trying to deliberately deceit the FIA. It comes. I personally think it shows that the FIA doesn't know what they're doing in a way. Let me explain what I mean. Because, like, if I go to have my car MOT'd, and I've changed something on it, but have been totally transparent with the MOT person what I have changed, and he or she declares it legal, then I would be pretty cheesed off if 6 weeks down the line or 6 months down the line they would say, oh, it's actually illegal. So I think it would reflect really badly on the FIA if that. I think if Racing Point were to get disqualified, I think it would really reflect badly on the FIA, because it would show that they don't know their own rules, and I would question the future of Formula One, because what are they going to do with the Haas team? Are they going to disqualify them as well? Because they've got a lot of ties with Ferrari, no doubt about it, and they've been able to race in Formula One. But as I said previously, I think the FIA and the FIA and Formula One need to find a way finding a compromise, because at the end of the day, we have to find a way of ensuring that Formula One is here to stay for the long term. And I don't think, I know that potentially threatening any teams with disqualification um, um, is not the right thing to do at the minute, because I certainly want as many teams as possible, but I also want a fair and transparent Formula One. You know, and if the FIA are serious about disqualifying or even thinking about disqualifying the Racing Point, then I would go as far as asking the question: how comes Ferrari get handed a under the table deal where the FIA know that that Ferrari have done something wrong last year, but but they've agreed for it not to be disclosed. I mean, at the end of the day, I think everything should be transparent, and no more dirty deals between any of the teams should be, and the FIA should be allowed. I mean, everything needs to be transparent, and as I said, I think if anything, a fine and clarification should be sufficient. I mean, at the end of the day, we all want competitive cars. I mean, and I don't really care whether Racing Point have copied the Mercedes. If it gives us great racing, then I'm all for it. But as I said, to even, how it can't be that illegal, because how comes they have not been, they've been allowed to compete for the rest of the season. And I mean, the last point one has to make, I mean, I don't get what the whole copying saga is all about anyway. I mean, based on last week's Grand Prix, Racing Point were nowhere near Mercedes, and they were in the midfield, so they couldn't have. It's all about, if you do take inspiration from a different team, then you've got to have the ability to translate that into results. So I personally think a fine and a reprimand would be enough, if anything, or at least, or if they want to do anything, get clarification, and then everybody would be happy. But anyway, this is just what I'm thinking. What are you guys thinking? Let me know in the comments below. Cheers for watching, and I'm out of here. Bye guys.